How you doing? How's it going, everybody? We're starting running early. Fair play to us. It's lovely to be here. Thanks for all the... I haven't actually done it yet, but thank you. Easy and rest. Thanks for being here, everybody. Oh, we get...
Oh, sorry.
Who's that? Van der Man? Bob Dylan, okay, can't compete with that. I once saw Bob Dylan in a bouldering in Valencia, and it was a terrible gig. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I'm very excited to be here. My name's Stephen James Smith. I'm a bit of a chancer and a poet who hails from Dublin, now living in Wexford. So I'm delighted that you're all here. I am in the middle of a bit of a tour at the moment with some artists, and they're going to come down. In fact, I'm amazed. I'm really impressed. You're all very punctual. I was kind of going like, maybe they'll arrive at 8 o'clock or something, but you're all here. So I sort of gave them a bit of wiggle room to get them down here. But I'm going to do maybe 10, 15 minutes of poetry, and then we'll hand over to some of the other professionals. So what you need to know about me: Stephen, Dublin, living in Wexford, on the tour at the moment. I am involved in a mental health arts festival at the moment, which is, hands up who's here because they heard about First Fortnight. Okay, a few people, thank you. And then I'll explain that in a moment. And then obviously some of you here as well because you're aware of the great work that Lauren and the team do here for the First Wednesday series. Yeah, fair play to them. So First Fortnight is a mental health arts festival that I've been volunteering with for 15 years now. My own brain doesn't always work in the way things are supposed to, per se, and I've had my issues with depression and mental health illness in the past, and the guys who set up the festival are two mates of mine, one who's unfortunately brother committed suicide, and his other, my other friend, used to self-harm. So they did a gig in Dublin deciding to get people together in a room and raise some money for a charitable cause. It went so well that they kept on doing it, and this year we have 47 events around the island of Ireland, I've been basically stuck with them. I've been volunteering, getting paid a little bit of money now because I'm not just like, I've organised 9 events and like fucking work my ass off, so like give me a bit of credit. But I got involved because they were just gorgeous people to work with, and I think they do really meaningful work and bringing people together and working with amazing artists. So that's kind of how I got involved. They also, it's not just the festival, they do all year round. They provide creative arts therapy for people that are at risk of or are homeless, and they're also doing therapy for children as well. So if you know of anybody in need of those services, unfortunately, you can check out firstfortnight.ie. And then you may have heard of Mining Creative Minds, which is a fantastic organisation as well for anybody who's working in the arts sector. They provide free creative arts therapy and also mentorship, and that's a sister project. It kind of splintered off from one of the guys that was involved in First Fortnight. So they're doing really good stuff, so they are, and I'm very grateful to be here in Limerick. I'm in the middle of a tour. We've got some artists who, I don't know if they're coming down the stage or down the stairs. We've got some artists at the moment where I was lucky to be in Montreal over 10 years ago, and I met a remarkable artist who you'll hear later on, and we stayed in contact through Facebook, the horrible thing that it is, but it's a good thing in the sense that they've come here to Limerick tonight. And I was in Guelph last year and I met these Indigenous North American artists, and we've been doing a tour. So we've been to Wexford, Dublin, Belfast, Derry, Arranmore. Last night I stayed in my friend's house in Sligo, a bit of a travel day. My friend has dogs and cats that slept all over the bed. I woke up this morning, my eyes were popping out of my head. So that was a tough start to the day. So I am tired, but they're extra puffy because of rubbing the shit out of them. And we're here tonight, and then tomorrow we go to the Stowe. So you're going to hear stories and songs from those guys, and I think it's a really important cultural exchange. They're gorgeous people, so they are. And we also have fantastic local artists and talent in Emma Langford and Lauren McNamara, and I'm very grateful for them for buying into the spirit of the festival. In fact, Lauren previously came up to Dublin, so we do this thing called the therapy sessions, which is obviously part of that tour, but the one in Dublin has been going for ages, and we've been doing that in the Workman's and Lauren came up a few years ago because Buddy Wakefield was one of their favourite poets, and in fact got up on stage and opened for Buddy Wakefield, which I think was an important moment for you. I got the sense, and that was a gorgeous thing. And you're a great supporter of the arts, and fair play to you for doing your first Wednesday series. So if you're here for First Fortnight tonight and you like what you're getting, just to be aware that this is a regular thing, a regular community. And actually we have to be done by 9:30 because there's music upstairs. So I'll say a poem and then hand over to the professionals in a moment. But I believe you've got the commercial around the corner where there's some poetry as well. So if you're looking to share, go along there. It's important to build a community of people, so it is. And maybe there's other things that I'm oblivious to. I'm ignorant on many things in life. So if anybody's interested in poetry or open mics, maybe speak to Lauren or other people in the room, and you can chime up and build that community. But grateful to be here. I remember being upstairs about, I think it was in 2007 or 2008 in the All-Ireland Poetry Slam final, and I came second. And it was a double. Yeah, it doesn't count. In fact, I remember speaking to Sean Moncrief the next day about it and being really like embarrassed and cringy when I think about all that. But I've been coming to the White House for many a year, and it's great to be back in Limerick. It's a gorgeous city and town, and it's a real privilege to be here today and to have the other artists come along tonight. So you're very lovely in listening to me, which is great, but my main concern is that you lend your ears to the artists that we have on stage tonight, which I'm pretty sure you will. Yes, what else? That's the First Fortnight, kind of brief. Yeah, a little bit about me. I'll say a poem, and I'm really running on fumes. Being on the tour, it's not glamorous at all. Like so tired. And actually this kind gentleman, Pat, came over and he's bought a couple of my books and he's had me to sign them. And actually it's a great thing because I left my books back in the hotel. That's how tired I am. So I'm going to use this, and now it's just tripled in value. So it has, so just in case I can't remember, it's kind of handy thing to have. But what else do I need to say? Are we all okay? Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Like, the world is fucked in so many ways right now. It's kind of scary, the world right now. It doesn't compute in my brain of the conflicts and the potential conflicts. And we need this, I need this. This is why I do it. It's not about the money. Getting sound, creative people in a room who kindly listen, who have empathy. That's what it's fucking about, guys, and we're doing it right now. It's the only way to counteract all the other scary stuff in the world. So thanks for being here. I was chatting with friend Maeve earlier on, and she says, you must have a lovely mother. So I'll do a poem for my mother. She crocheted me a hat for Christmas with the Wexford colours. So she's not the worst, not the best either. As you'll hear in the poem, a bit controversial, some of the lines. In fact, the poem I wrote, God, when I was 28 and 43 now, fucking hell. And she's quite religious. Me, not so much. I'm like, live and let live, none of my business. Once you're not hurting anybody else, do what you gotta do. But I go to church with her sometimes because I don't see her often enough. And one day she was driving me back home to where I used to live, and she says, you know, I pretend to be happy. And I was like, ooh, I'll cash in on a poem on that trauma. No, I'm just being horrible. But I did write a poem later on that night, waited when my partner went to bed, and it just kind of spilled out of me. So it's called The Gardener, and I may or may not do one more after this, but thanks for being here. And it goes like this. Oh, God. She turned to me and said, actually, would you like to read this? Would that be helpful? Would that be helpful? Would you like to read at the same time? Because thank you. So it's called The Gardener there. Pat,
you need
Pat,
a book.
kindly, Pat bought 2 books. Very great to pass. So, thanks, buddy.
One for everyone in the audience.
Here we go. She turned to me and said, do you think I'm happy? And heard a question I didn't want to hear. I knew the answer. I've listened to the cry, but the face of it made me uneasy, but I felt the bravery. I felt the realness in the moment, so I answered, you see. She's a gardener who has great plans, but works with what she's got. She loves creation, sees beauty and wants to share with you, understands the cruelty of nature, and yet it fills you with wonder. Have you tried her rhubarb fresh from Granny's garden? You should. Maybe there are prettier roses, but she'd rather be a cook and apple, or better yet, a gooseberry. Her hands are worn, the flesh loosened by age. She held my hand in church today for the first time in too long. Her eyes are still young, still life to be lived. This Joe Bangles is not condemned when there is breath left, still seeking that happiness. God love her. People before profit, she says. A modern day Guevara or Conley as a nation lets her down, working 34 years in a job draining away her very essence for what? To feed me, educate me, clothe me, but not stopping there. I remember she took Mrs. Prendergast in her buttons when we couldn't afford to go to Butlins. Caravanning around her to the takeaway Chinese, the Isle of Man, the cinema, jazz after church every Sunday as we did today, 28 years on. Taught me to notice the sunset, her bondage, a sick child and a broken marriage, all this, and I don't know how to speak to her. I always want to hug her, and I don't know how. So a veiled kiss like some courtesy will do. She's been learning how to stop living inside her own head. Gets up, goes out, half the battle. No panic attacks for a while, still manic but calmer now, still pretending, still xenophobic, homophobic, not meaning to be. Lost marbles down gutters like dreams. The anger, it's fresher though. Built up over years of false dawns and mistrust, reduced expectations, frustrations, wants contentment now. Quiet. Yes, quiet. Peace. Or perhaps bird song in her garden where she will grow. Apples, pears, spuds, raspberries, strawberries and gooseberries. Watch them bloom again and return to the soil, but not before she has lived a life deserving. My mother told me today she pretends to be happy. What you say to that? Let's watch her flower now, I say, and bring her some water. Well, at least I didn't need the words there. A bit of a heavy one, but like, hey, it was a cathartic thing for me, and I think for my mother, it prompted us to have conversations that we perhaps weren't expecting to have. I actually recorded it onto a CD and left it in her home in a bungalow in Tala, and sort of ran away, not sure how she would receive it, because I felt like you can not ran away forever. Like, I felt like she had to hear it. Because poetry for me is very much an oral art form. I'm dyslexic and I struggle, and it's probably why I gravitated towards it. So when she heard it, it prompted us to have these chats and helped us in some respects. And we actually didn't have an argument at Christmas this year either, so things have improved in many ways. But yeah, I'll do another little short one, and I'm delighted to see this. Fair play to you, you got down. I'm going to hand over then to the rest of the guys in a moment. We're in for a real treat, as I say. I'll do not one of mine, because mine are too fucking long. But maybe I'll go to the commercial later on. You hear some more of my stuff if you wish. Or we're in the Stole tomorrow, and you're more than welcome to come to the Stole, where we're also collaborating with Maeve Begley, the incredible accordion player. So, this one is called Lake Isle Free. You're probably going, oh my god, you did that shit in school, I don't want to hear it. Well, it's only short, so it's fine. You may have heard Yeats reciting it. He kind of goes, I will rise and go now and go to Innisfree, which is fine. And the thing about that is he kind of believes that poetry exists in another realm. It's not his normal speaking voice, but I'll just say it in my own speaking voice and then hand over to the professionals. You've been lovely, thank you. I was, being on the road, and it's hard, you get apprehensive and you get nervous about things, and when I walk down here, I'm like, because there's a great establishment of poetry here anyway, and when I walk down, the place is pretty much full from the get-go. I'm like, we're kind of a lovely gig. So we are kind of a lovely gig, so we are, fair play to us. This is like I'll get Innisfree, goes like this. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the beat out glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings their midnight's olive glimmer, and noon a purple glow, an evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore, while I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. I hear it in the deep heart's core. So that's Yeats. We just came from Sligo, in fact, so yeah, it feels fitting. That's probably why I did that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're a lovely audience. I'm very grateful to have my friend Melissa Shakanoff to my right. So I am very fortunate. Obviously I'm touring around Ireland at the moment, tomorrow being our last day, but last year I was very fortunate. I think I went to 15 different countries through poetry, which was incredible. Spent 3 weeks across Africa, and I was in North America a few times, and one of the places I got to go to was Guelph, which is a city near to Toronto, in the place that is now known as Canada, which is something I'm learning as well. It's been a good education and chatting to the guys during the week. And Melissa was part of the performance that I did at this festival, and I was very well looked after, and I was very moved by Melissa's performance that time, and just wanted us to get to experience what Melissa has to offer. And are you good to go while I stop talking and let you out? So you've been lovely to me, so please extend a warm round of applause for Melissa Shagnoff.
Alright, Jan, Melissa Shagnoff sa set the land, we should koi kara itlan na itin anak peps and scouted. Artist of curator, poet Kogashna. Chanan Kotan was at Northland. It's good to see you all here today. My name is Melissa Shaganoff. I am Caribou and Fish Eater clan from Night-Dinyana, or the Log Over the River, or Chickaloon Village. I am Otna and Paiute, and I am myself. It's funny to kind of be here and sort of tell people without a lot of context of where you're from. Alaska is this really big, isolated, and specific place in some ways, and explaining that north here has been interesting, but then it's been also great to see the similarities and the ways that we connect as people and the experiences we've all had. As an Indigenous person, the effect of colonization has been something that we've all recognized here, and seen kind of these parallels that make me feel very close to some of your histories, specifically in language. You know, I started out by introducing myself in my language. It's the first thing you learn as an Indigenous person, is how to introduce yourself in your language, because it's this way of offering to say, this is who I am, where I'm from, and also who you can turn me over to if I mess up. So I think that I'll start my set, or my few little pieces, with a prayer, but it's really an offering and kind of a pulling in to all of us. So just Dasu Ukan, let us pray. Zanad Nada Ulziste, bless us today. Welzet Mini Utset Duts Ade, all of us have good thoughts. Kotana Welzet Smooth Ade, we all see good things in a person. Welzet Kotana Dootsak, we all hear good things in a person. Kotana as Welzet Plus As Plus Af Del Afde, we all walk good with others. Welzet Kotanet Dots Ut Ade, let us learn good. Kotanet Welzet Queenie Udziste, blessings for the people. Kotanet Nala Welzet Hunet Udziste, blessings for the family. Nayo Yetz Welzet Hunet Udziste, praying for healing and good blessings. Nikoltani Dootsak Dootkan Naga Wenet Udziste, Creator listens to prayers for blessings. Janan Nikoltani, thank you, Creator. I like to start with that piece because it brings in my ancestors into the room. I learned that prayer from my elder, Jeannie Maxim, who was really the elder that taught me about hide tanning, which is sort of the work that I'm going to share next. I don't have my hide today, or we've been traveling around and I've actually brought a little moose hide, my little suitcase moose, to all the gigs, but we're in a smaller space. But I was given a beautiful gift by Stephen, and so I'm going to use that as my sort of, ASMR kind of piece. So I'm going to actually ask Stephen to come up here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, sister. I'm so glad you pulled me out again. I've been waiting for you to work on me, to be ready. I know it's hard for you. Hard on your hands, hard on your shoulders, hard on your heart. Learning all the small details it takes to get you here, to this place. My skin is complex, and like yours, it's been through a lot. I know all that you've learned about me, about my skin. All of it has been hard-won, no matter what anyone thinks. This process, these hours, your soreness, your tears, your effort, your healing. I know I ask a lot from you, but you can do it. You can get to the next step. Just keep going. Listen to the scrape and stay steady. Every motion in this process teaches you something about me. You learned which of my shoulders was tougher, which side I leaned upon, which one I brushed against the trees. This shoulder will be at the bottom of your moccasins. And I love you for this. For being here. For scraping my skin. Night after night. Day after day. Even when you feel like you've gone backwards, you've gone forwards. Even when you've made a hole with your blade, I know you'll sew me back together. This is a long lesson. It's not something you can learn overnight. It's not a wound you can heal in an hour, in a day, in a month, or even a year. It's something we'll heal together over a lifetime. So Janan, sister. Janan for pulling me out. Hey, Moose. I'm here again. Scraping your skin. I don't even know what I'm doing. Not really. Maybe that's okay. I'm starting to love this sound. Dry, smooth, strong, steady. Dry, smooth, strong, steady. I just have to make it. I mean, I have to make you soft. Is that right, Moose? Just make you soft? It's so hard to be soft. I think about all your layers, your folds, your hair, keeping you protected and warm. Your life is so hard in the cold. Walking through the woods, branches break beneath your weight. Your breath turning to icicles at the corners of your mouth. But through all of this, you still found your way to me. Can it be possible? Possible that you would choose me? I don't even know what I'm doing. Just trying to make you soft. I think I might love you, Moose. I love you for choosing me, for making your way beneath my knife, for forgiving my mistakes, for every cut that I dig too deep into your skin. I love you. I love you for being a place where I'll remember. Even if it feels like I'm just playing a part. Moving my arms to mimic the connections I crave. I worry I'm not real. But you are real. And I love you. And maybe because of you, I can love myself. So Chinamus. Chinan for letting me try. So I'm going to do just one more, and I actually wonder if I could call Leslie up. I know you're in the back there, Leslie. So as I said, Stephen gifted me this beautiful Aeron, and I don't know how to play it, so I'm gonna play it the way I would play an athabascan, an opera drum. And I went and got a tipper today at the music store, and it's a really tight, hard sound. So I have to learn how to play it. Our moose hide drums are a little bit rounder, warmer, and so I put my scarf on it to make the sound a little bit until I can figure out how to use this thing, which it's apparently loose wrists, which I don't have, I guess. But this is a song that was written by George Hawley and Joel Isaac, two of my very best friends, and they gave me permission to share this, and I thought it would be apt since I've been learning so much about your guys' language and learning about all the different ways that we connect through that. So forgive me if I make mistakes, but and this is Leslie, this lovely Leslie, who is my my stand and also my singer partner. We were singing in the car, so that's the amount of practice we did, which is great that this is recorded.
You're live with 1 million people.
Okay, and if you pick up any of the vocal bowls or you pick up some of the words, please feel free to sing along. So. Dena ina kanaga ya uchudalen. Dena ina kanaga ya uchudalen. Wea hea uea au ea ia. Wea hea uea. Naga language, we are getting our language back. It is coming back to us. We have our language. Amen.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Melissa. It's great to have you here on our islands. You're most welcome, and thanks for allowing me to join you on that as well. So up next we have one of the regular hosts of the First Wednesday series, Lauren McNamara. Where are you? So I'm very lucky to know Lauren like 10 years or so. Yeah, I remember when you were studying, you kindly invited me up to chat to the university as well, and you've obviously released a book not so long ago last year, Quarter Life Crisis, which is available, and has toured nationally and internationally, done Glastonbury Festival and all sorts of fantastic things, and I'm very grateful to your help for helping to facilitate tonight, because obviously it's on First Wednesday, and you've obviously got a gorgeous audience. I know some people are here for First Fortnight, but there are obviously a lot of people here down to the work that you and the rest of the poetry community that helped this be a regular night. Is testament to your work that we've got people in the room, so fair play to you, and I'm really looking forward to hearing you. So thanks very much, good luck to you, being with us.
Thanks so much, Stephen. Yeah, we haven't known each other a long time at this point.
Yeah.
And you're still coming back to Limerick. Thanks a million. For anyone who doesn't know, it's lovely to see lots of new faces here, as well as a lot of the regulars. My name is Lauren McNamara. I run the First Wednesday series at the White House. I know this is the second Wednesday, but when Stephen James Smith calls, you pick up the phone. But we run this the first Wednesday every month. We do poetry, and we usually have a guest speaker and an open mic afterwards. And for anyone who is here tonight, please, you are always welcome. We always love new people, and it's just a room where people come, share stories, listen, and have some really nice conversations. And any of the regulars we have here can, I think, account for that. Dor here in the middle is my poetry wife, who co-hosts the series with me. My actual wife is here, so Dor does a lot of wonderful work making this happen, along with Dominic and Pat and Marion, who's on the back. So we do have a lovely team, and you're very welcome. And thank you so much to Stephen and to our three wonderful performers who are here tonight. That was beautiful. I couldn't see much because I was in the back corner, but it sounded phenomenal. And I saw some people getting a bit teary-eyed. So I'm going to do some poetry for y'all. So this first poem is called Growing Up Irish. Growing up Irish means the Catholic Church was the top religion in your country, followed closely by the Simpsons, both of which have gotten a little less popular since you were a kid. Growing up Irish means going on a youth pilgrimage to Lourdes and hanging out with the people who are older or sicker or both, and knowing that the 90-year-olds have the best stories to tell, because they've been here 20 times and they've seen some shit. They tell you they may not make it to next year though, because they want to try Lanzarote. And you go to Mass 10 times, you won't learn a word of French, and you'll see that the fuse outside the walls are all just shops selling the same glow-in-the-dark bobblehead Holy Mary statue. And you'll come back not knowing much more about how you feel about God, but feeling better about people. Growing up Irish means spending 12 years learning a language that is yours, but still not being able to wrap your tongue around most of the words. And you'll feel that gap in your creed. And sometimes you'll hate it, and sometimes you'll love it, but it will be part of who you are. And sometimes you'll think it's useless until someone else says it's dead, and then something will rise up inside you, and you'll proclaim Níl aon Hintáin mar a Hintáin féin. Growing up Irish means knowing that everyone in your small Irish village knows everything about everyone in your small Irish village. And every second person is named Ryan. And every second person is a farmer. And every second house is a pub. And every second pub owner is also a farmer named Ryan. Now when you grew up in your village, there was 5 shops and a bank and a post office, but today there's only 1 shop left, and the bank has gone to the city, and the post office only opens 1 day a week. But thank God, all 12 pubs are still doing well. Growing up Irish means that you're a child of an immigrant, knowing that your parents or your grandparents or your great ancestors worked to get here, They made a strange land their home, a town of strangers' friends. They broke off a piece themselves and added it to the fire what it means to be Irish. And they kept that flame alive and they passed it on to their children, to you, to us. Growing up Irish means we heard of the banshees and the sulkies from the Shanachie, but nothing was as scary as your mother using your full name. We saw these mothers fight to take their place in a country that changed fast after taking a long time changing so slow. But this change was not easy. It was driven by generations of women who fought and sacrificed to get to keep their name after marriage, to get the right to divorce, to get to take control of their own bodies. Growing up Irish means knowing that a funeral is a celebration. And that you can celebrate and be sad at the same time. And knowing that almost everyone in a small Irish village goes to almost every funeral. And the regulars have season passes. And the scalpers keep an eye on when the real big game days are on the way by looking at the coming soon section of RIP.ie. Growing up Irish means growing up. And that can be tough. But it's a hell of a country to do it in. And I wouldn't want to have to do it anywhere else. Thank you so much. Next piece I want to do, and I was thinking about the First Fortnight Festival, it's such a wonderful idea just to come here and share ideas and share stories during this kind of time of the year where things can get a little bit heavy. And as Stephen talked about, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. And I have this new piece I wrote a couple of months ago that kind of talks a little bit about that, maybe that feeling of helplessness. And I performed in Waterford a couple of months ago, and a few people came up to me afterwards and they're like, this is how I feel. And I think sometimes it's good to talk about it. So this is a poem called Why Am I Writing Poetry? It's not for the money.
All that money.
All that money. Why am I writing poetry? When I see children around the world displaced, globally disowned and killed, stone dead. When doctors are made targets for the sins of committing healing, and we all watch it on TV and wonder how many more days of coverage in the news are left until all the food inside runs out. Why am I writing poetry? When extreme weather conditions are getting worse around the world and budget store-bought scientists tell us there's nothing to fear, that it's all in our head and rising sea levels are only in our nightmares. And hey, who wouldn't like it to be a bit sunnier? And why should it matter to us anyway? Because we ain't in the areas worst affected. All we need to do to survive, to thrive, is stick our heads in the ground and then no sun cream needed. Why am I writing poetry when global democracies are talking about repealing gay marriage and repealing women's rights to vote, have already repealed women's rights to their own bodies, when some countries only allow men into classrooms and women must be hidden in all aspects of daily life, when most governments still get to decide who loves who and who identifies as what, or it's who get thrown in a jail or a grave to rot in, when my own community is being stripped of sports and bathrooms and family and friends and air. Why are we writing poetry when we see all of the pain in the world? Isn't the hope that one day we can look back and say, look how far we've come? Or isn't the hope that one day we look back and say, look how easy it was for it to all fall apart? As we remind ourselves that goodness and kindness exist in large quantities, but they are not passive traits, that justice and rights can be easily stripped as given, and to be human to the full degree means knowing that the fight for equality is forever ongoing. And that we are not the enemy of each other, but together we are the enemy of the worst traits of ourselves. And if we are to humanize even one group, then we will all lose our humanity. We remind ourselves of the fragility of peace, and that to love, to truly love, means to choose each and every day to protect each other. We write poetry because when it gets better, my friends, it will get better, and love will win out. But there is no doubt that people will forget how bad it got. To secure our future, we need to record the worst of us, to speak truth to pain, to remember the names of those the world has already failed, so we will not allow ourselves to fail again. That was a nice light poem for y'all. Nice musical. Yeah, sometimes it's like this is like everyone knows what's happening in the world, and like it's good to have fun and it's good to enjoy ourselves, but it's always good to talk about that kind of thing as well because everyone's thinking it. So I'm going to do just one or two more pieces for you. This next poem is again a newer one. It's again, I suppose the good thing about First Fortnight is it's using art and music and storytelling to bring people together. And I know one group in Limerick who does this really well with Limerick Arts Office is the Stony Thursday book that comes out pretty much every year for about 50 years now. And they just do a wonderful collection bringing together poets from Limerick and all over the country and all over the world to share stories. And if you haven't got a chance to pick this book up, it's in all the shops around Limerick and I would highly recommend you to. My own book, actually, Door is selling in the middle of the room as well, in case anyone would like it later. I think I'll do the White Hot Special. It's 1 for 15, 2 for 30. No questions asked. This next piece is called Little Lego Lives. She bought a Lego set and then she bought another. She planned to build most everything and be a master builder. So she built a builder's hat and put on builder's gloves and builder's dungarees to avoid a builder's butt. She built a building site to build a strong foundation. Then she built her tools for her building station. She built a Lego house and built a Lego car. She built a Lego dog who chased her Lego cat. They always fought each other, so she called them Lego Gimli and Lego Lass. It's a good one, isn't it? She built some Lego food and kept it in a Lego box. Her dentist wasn't happy, she kept eating plastic blocks. She then built Lego water and watered Lego plants and wore only Lego shoes, Lego tops and Lego pants. Eventually she built a reputation and people came to see. So she built a Lego shop and even Lego staff and invited everyone and only asked for Lego cash. Then she met a Lego lover and they fell in Lego love and went to Lego discos and there they felt so groovy and afterwards would go straight home and watch the second Lego movie. And her Lego love grew quickly, faster than even she could build. But they would build together and their relationship was sealed when she built a Lego diamond ring and a Lego Eiffel Tower and she built a sunset in the sky to be seen at any hour. And then built up the courage to ask her for her hand. And then Lego fireworks exploded across their Lego land. Then they built a life together and even built a baby. And when the baby boy was 4 for Christmas, they got a game of Twister. And also Lego blocks. And when the parents turned away, the baby built a baby sister. They took his Lego blocks, 2 babies was enough. The bills were building up and the Lego market could be tough. But the kids grew up with a love of building that was rare. One became an architect and the other a bricklayer. The family built a Lego empire and lived happy for many years. But one day, her wife fell sick. Doctors said it was worse than they feared. She asked the doctor why she couldn't build a heart. She had the blueprints memorized. She knew where she could start. They said it didn't work like that. You can't build everything. So she built another doctor and built a working heart. But even the Lego doctor said the heart would only fall apart. So she took a break from building and spent some months with her. And then she built a Lego grave up by a Lego tree. Her Lego dog and Lego cat lay beside her Lego covered feet. She took a breath and thought of the life they had built together. And then she let go. Maybe one more poem for me, and we'll get back to some music then after that. So again, thank you all so much for coming. I hope you're enjoying tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the wonderful guests we have so far and the many wonderful guests to come. We have Emma Langford. I'm very excited. Emma's album is actually up on the wall there behind us, which is very impressive, Emma, but for the people in the back, if you look up, this room is actually called the Laurens. And I am Lauren. I'm not that Lauren, but I am Lauren. So maybe that's the Lauren. So this last piece I'm going to do tonight is a piece that I do a lot, but I think it's always popular, like people like to listen to. And again, a story about, I suppose, family can change and things can happen, but you know, even during tough times, there's a lot of good to be found as well. So this is a poem dedicated to my grandmother, simply called Granny. fizzling granny in a fizzling room with the armchairs and the broken grand piano that still plays beautifully, if you know which keys to use. Granny smiles, her eyes as young as ever, and she just keeps singing these old Irish songs. And she tries to get you to sing along even though you don't know the words, but you just pretend, because, well, she's lost her hearing aids again and she can't tell if you don't. But she is happy and carefree, and she lives now in her own world, and that's a place of music and splendour. And she says the staff in the nursing home take care of her, and she's come to realise she's probably not going to go home, and she says she's okay with that. And she asks how her husband is, and you say he's fine. You bring her in a magazine, and she loves this because her eyesight is better than yours, and she sees everything. She sees you and tells you, you got so tall and also a little fat. She tells those around you that you're a good scholar in school and you'll become a teacher soon. She gets presents on her first day and on her birthday and on Mother's Day, and she tries to give them away because she doesn't want to have too many things. And she asks how her husband is, and you say he's fine. You bring in your girlfriend to meet her. She says she's pretty and asks when you're getting married, and you say not for a while, but when you turn she confides to her that she thinks you'll both make beautiful brides. And to be fair, you are her oldest grandchild, and well, Granny's 93 and she just wants a party. She tells you it was a hard day seeing Grandad in hospital, and it's difficult to see that man in bed like that, and you agree and you say, I'm so sorry. And then you just shake your head because she hates to wear her hearing aids. And then she asks how her parents are. And you know to tell her they're fine, because the first time you didn't lie and you told her they passed away, and she asked when. And you said a long time ago. And she looks at you and asks, why didn't anyone tell me? I didn't even get to say goodbye. And then she asks what will happen to her family home, and she hasn't been to in over 40 years, and you say you don't know, and then you just shake your head because she can't hear you. And then she sings these old Irish songs. And she's happy and carefree and says the staff treat her well. But she tells you, you gotta go now, because it's lunchtime and you're in the way. And she laughs and smiles. And you do too. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Lauren. Fantastic stuff. Get Lauren's book over there. They are available for sale. And yeah, please do come on back for the first Wednesday series. Thanks for all your help in making tonight happen. And I made a little mistake there. Leslie's on neck. I'm literally delirious. I'm running on fumes. So I am. As soon as this is over, I'm just going to crash in bed. In fact, I'm even going to spend €20 to have a late check-out from my hotel tomorrow. I'm like, that's an investment actually in my mental health investment. Look after your mental health. But I would like to welcome to the stage my friend Leslie McHugh now. Leslie, I also met in Guelph last year, and Leslie was working on the Moose Hide with Melissa at several of the events, and was also over here with their partner Lindy, who sadly had to go, lovely human being, and they were doing dance together. And I'm not exactly certain what Leslie has in store, but I'm delighted that they're here and they're going to share something. So please, you've been lovely to everybody, be lovely to Leslie. Do the bus.
Hi everybody. Can you try anin? Anin. That's how you say hello in my language. A formal hello is bonjour. Bonjour. So ani bonjour kinawia wabananong dishakaz wishkigumang dunjaba. My name is Leslie McHugh. I'm from a place called Curve Lake First Nation. It's, I always tease, it's 3 TV shows away from Toronto. So I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada area. The nation that I'm from is called Anishinaabe, and Anishinaabe is kind of an umbrella term for many different nations. There's over 500 indigenous nations across what is now known as Canada. We're not one good-looking group of people. And in my community, our specific nation is called Michasagik, which means those at the Great River mouth. And there's 3 bodies of water around my community. So a lot of the traditional practices that my people have to do with the water. So we sing for the water, we pray for the water, we dance for the water, we write about the water, and we just make sure to care for the water because especially as women, we're life givers, life sustainers, and water carriers. So it's important for us to care for that resource. I'm not a poet or a writer, but I'm actually a dancer. Yeah. But I'm going to share a song with you today. And if you're interested in seeing my style of dance that I've been doing and sharing while here in Ireland, visit the First Fortnight Instagram page and social media, and you'll find me on there as well if you want to see that. Has anyone heard of a powwow before? Couple people? Awesome. Has anyone been to one before? Okay, one person. Okay, amazing. So she's going to show us how to do this next time. No, I'm teasing. But powwows are intertribal. So many different nations participate in powwow. Not all nations, but some nations do. Where we come together, we dance, we sing, we eat great food, and we meet new friends just like you. And in powwows, we have a lot of different types of music. And we use a drum similar to what Melissa was using, but is your style of drum. It's very similar. We have a hand drum, but we also have a large drum where people would sit around, similar to how you're sitting around the tables here tonight, to play music. And for folks who haven't been to a powwow today, I wanted to show you what that sounds like, okay? And these styles of music, we have songs and music for many different things. We have songs and music for welcoming people to a space, for sending people home in a really good way, for when people are born, when people pass away, when people need to travel. We have songs for all of these things. And the song and the style that I dance is called jingle and traditional. And the jingle dress, it has metal cones on it. And those metal cones are made from the tops of tobacco can lids. And they're cut to the center and they're rolled. In my community, tobacco is one of our 4 sacred medicines. And we use that really often for offerings. So if I was asking Melissa, which I'll have to offer her some tobacco later, if I was asking her to sing with me, which I'm going to, I would offer her tobacco and she would have the option to say yes or no and tell me that she would like to help me or not. And so this style of dress uses those tobacco cones, and those dancers hold a really big responsibility in our community. If somebody was feeling ill, and that could be from mental health or somebody beginning to start their journey back home, you would offer them tobacco. And you would say, I'm not feeling very well, or my grandmother's not feeling well, or my friend isn't feeling very well. Could you think about them while you're dancing? And those jingle dress dancers would take that offering, and they would dance with the tobacco in their left hand, because in my community say it's just a little bit closer to your heart. And they would think about that person and pray for them while they're dancing. And all of those good thoughts and good energy helps towards that collective idea of healing. And then we would offer that to a sacred fire for whatever higher being that you believe in. The song that I really like dancing to is called A Sidestep, which is literally just a sidestep. It's a step to the left and together, and it goes on the beat very, very quickly. And you'll see when I play this song that it kind of sounds like our heartbeat. And the really beautiful thing is you can also feel the vibrations through your feet. And so a lot of people in our community will either hold on to the side of the rope, or they'll close their eyes, or they'll try to feel it in their feet when they're dancing. Because we all wear rubber on the bottom of our shoes, we don't often have that connection with the earth. Especially in the city that I live in Toronto, we spend a lot of times in buses, subways, streetcars, inside of big buildings, that we don't always have that connection with the earth. So that's also a representation of that. But this is what it sounds like. So it kind of has that heartbeat, and so you always keep time with that heartbeat when you're dancing. And it's really beautiful. It has a sound that kind of sounds like the rain when the style that I dances together. And I've been to powwows where there's been 200 or 300 women, all with those cones. And you can imagine what that might sound like with metal cones hitting back and forth. It kind of sounds like rain hitting a tin roof, which is a really beautiful thing. So if that interests you, you can check that out. I mentioned that there's songs for everything. And the song that I would like to share, I'm going to ask Melissa if she'll help me with that song. And I'm going to sing it once. Melissa's going to help me lead it in a second, but I would love for you to try with us as well. In our community, if you say no to an offering, you also owe us $10. So that might help us with dinner tomorrow. No, but it's a very simple song, so I'm going to teach it to you. It has to do with a butterfly and transition. So if you're going through a change in your life, if you're not sure where you are in life, this is the type of song that you should sing.
Sing the song for me.
Yeah. Okay. I'll sing it once first with Melissa, and then we'll ask for folks to help us. Okay? Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way oh. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way oh. Okay. We're going to try one more time, but you're going to pretend like you don't know anybody in the room, okay? So I heard that at 9:30 they're turning music on upstairs, so let's be a little bit loud too. So we'll start our music down here. So let's turn it up about 3 more, okay? You ready? And I'm going to sing a different verse this time, but we need it to be really loud so that I can sing the separate verse. Are you ready? Okay, let's hear you. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way oh. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way higher. Way up, oh, way oh. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. In my community, there's only about 50 fluent language speakers left. I know. My husband, who is here, he speaks a dialect of the same language, but there's so many more speakers of his community because his dialect is spoken in colleges and universities. But we say that when we speak our own language, it makes our ancestors really happy. It makes them proud and they know that we're here. And so I've been hearing the story a little bit about folks here learning their language or being shy to speak their language or not knowing when to speak their language. So just so that you know, that makes your ancestors happy when you speak yours as well. Yeah. So I just want to teach you a couple more words in my language. Because it's important, and thank you so much, Lauren, for your poem about your granny. My granny recently passed away this year, and I feel her around with me quite often, and she was a fluent language speaker, so just wanted to acknowledge that as well. Thank you for that poem. So the first word is miigwech.
Miigwech.
Next one is miigwech.
Miigwech.
Next one is ba-ma-pi.
Ba-ma-pi.
And the last one is kawabmin.
Kawabmin.
So miigwech in my language is thank you. Chimiigwech is a really big thank you. And bamapi and kawabmin both mean see you later because there's no word in my language for goodbye. So chimiigwech, bamapi, thank you so much for having Indigenous artists here in Ireland. We're super grateful to meet you all. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks so much, Leslie. It's been just really great to have the guys here. It's been a good education for me as well, so it has. And yeah, if you'd like to find Leslie and Lindy dancing, if you go onto the First Fortnight Instagram page, I'm pretty sure there's a video and some images there. And hopefully we get to have the guys back again at some point. I'm very grateful that they literally travelled across an ocean to be with us, all based on trust, and I'm very grateful that they're here. So we're on to our final artist of this evening. So we are, but it's been a gorgeous night, I'm sure you'll all agree. And we can all leg it across to, well, we'll stay here obviously because we're ready, but you can go across to the commercial and have an open mic there as well if you want. So as I mentioned at the start, we have different artists have travelled across an ocean to be here. And about 10 years ago I was in Montreal doing a gig, and I was performing alongside our next artist in I think it was a vegetarian cafe, and I was woken up with the smell of soup. I stayed above it. I was open to the smell of vegetable soup each morning, and I had that as breakfast. And we've been doing a tour. This is our 6th event, and Tucker has been a remarkable performer each evening. Very grateful that she's here. I think you're in for a real treat, and yeah, we just had a gorgeous time. Particularly, I think the guys appreciated. We were in Aaronmore the other day. Have you ever heard of Dr. Johnny Duffy? He's like one of our elders who just understands everything pretty much, and we had a gorgeous sit down chat, and it was a lovely meeting of minds, I felt, and I'm so glad that happened. But we have a gorgeous meeting of minds here tonight as well, so we do. You've been a lovely audience, and I'm very delighted to welcome to the stage Dr. Partridge. Build a bus, everybody.
Hi, sorry for the pause. My name is Zakalik Partridge. I am from Kuchwak, which is an Inuit community in the north of Quebec in Canada. Where do I start? So this room, the red of this room really reminds me of one of the places that I first started doing poetry, performance poetry, about 20 years ago. So I feel like I'm a little bit home. Thank you so much for having me here, having me and my fellow people from across the ocean and continents. And thank you, Stephen, for bringing us to this festival. I just want to say that I was so touched by your singing of that Cranberry song. That was a song that was, of course, at the top of the charts, and it was when I was in high school. And in the north, in Canada, it was a really important song, and all of her music was really important, and it still plays. It's sort of like this kind of cul-de-sac where music goes, and there's some music that just sticks, and that song is one of them. Mm-hmm. So it just touches my heart. She really helped me live through high school, and it's been a really hard year for me, and so I really needed this trip to this beautiful, powerful, incredible place. I know that you all have an appetite for poetry, so I hope what I say is slightly interesting. So, of course, you won't understand all of the things I'm talking about, but hopefully you get a little feeling of what I'm talking about. I'll first say a very, very, very short poem, just a line actually, in Inuktitut, which is my indigenous language. Inuktitut is the language of Inuit are in Siberia, in Alaska, across the north of Canada, and also in Greenland. And of course you've all heard about Greenland in the news a lot lately. Nuna pigitjangitavut, nuna tinut, pigiauvugut. Nuna pigitjangitavut, nuna tinut, pigiauvugut. Nuna tinut, pigiauvugut. The land does not belong to us. We belong to the land. The land does not belong to us. We belong to the land. You can clap. I wanted to say also that I do many things, and all of us actually, I think Stephen also does many things. First of all, to try to eke out a living, but, well, not first of all. One of the things is to try to eke out a living, but the other thing is, I've always been a person who must make things. I cannot not make things, and that includes with my hands, with my mind, with my voice, with other people. And poetry started as a way for me to, there was this like something sitting in my chest and it had to come out. And I always thought, oh, I don't, in fact, when I was young, I was a very shy person. No, I'm not, but, and I never thought that I had anything of interest to say. But then when I started thinking of it as a way to just ask the questions that I have and not to make pronouncements, something just sort of happened. When you give yourself permission to do something, that's kind of the start of it. It's not that somebody else gives you permission or that talent strikes you like lightning. It's just what can I tell you? I picked berries. Buckets and buckets. Sucked up purple berry juice on my lips like lipstick and started one-match fires for tea for me and my sisters, dressed in Mother Hubbard flower print parkas, and our only itching close calls were with black flies and horse flies and mosquitoes like hovering schools of fishes. You'll want to know the tundra is one big tiring mattress to walk on, with sloping stone breaks and muck to stick even hip-length boots, and pools deep and cool by boulders spotted with orange, yellow, black, white, and light green lichen. I can tell you the flowers are many and minuscule, and plants tend to taste bigger than they look, like roots we dug by rocks and ate with grit of sand and smelling metallic. Or I could tell you fish stories. From every point I ever cast a sealed relure to sing in char or trout or salmon. Small ones not caught in Norman's net. Who went out at low tide with mending line to square up holes and came back with legendary catch of 4-foot fish and no proof left but bones after supper. Even those the dogs might have choked down hacking throats. I can tell you how we sat low in canoes or slept curved against the hull of Peterhead on long trips up or down the river, or out into the bay, where the boy at the prow was a spring and a watchdog, looking for rocks to guard against, and scraping oars on boat side, calling up seals. Rifles raised and ears ringing as bullets whined by, but we were never afraid. Bobbing on waves and peeing in pots with stars and aurora overhead, heading home after weeks and weeks away from town and clocks and telephones and mirrors and everything tasted so good boiled on a blue-flamed Coleman stove. I'll give you me at my Uncle Jacob's camp. A perfect place for us to pick seaweed and sea shrimp, swimming in small, salty pools. Where, across the inlet, he shot a caribou and let it down gentle with knife and nape of neck. where we came to fetch fresh water and wash our hair glossy, Elisape and me. I can tell you, how quiet is not silent, but yields to gentler sounds, like my Auntie Leah cleaning eiderdown and scraping fat off a sealskin as I watched, calmed after a bit of a tiff over my brother gone hunting with the men. He never deserved it, it should have been me. She made bannock, my Auntie Leah, and she called me Bunnik, daughter, and I was appeased. This one I will read is, it's untitled, but it is written in honor of a young man. Nobody told me I had a wet shoe. It's in honor of a young man, Colton Bushi, and you can look him up. He was a young Indigenous man, a Cree man from Saskatchewan, from a community in Saskatchewan. And after a night out with other young people, I think they had car trouble, and they were driving home through the country, and they stopped at a farm to ask for help, to ask for the farmer to call for help. And the farmer came out and shot Colton Bushi in the back of the head when he was sleeping. So he died. He was murdered. And that was in 2016. And then in 2018, when the man went to trial in Canada, he was acquitted. He was not found guilty. And as Leslie had mentioned, in Canada, so-called Canada, there are over 500 Indigenous nations. So think of the European Union, the many nations, many more nations, all different cultures. And all kinds of different political persuasions, all kinds of different understandings of the way the world works and all that. But the thing that happened when this man's killer was acquitted was that every single person, from my perspective, as far as Facebook could tell anyway, and Instagram and all that, everybody had the same reaction, which was just horror. That this, such an obvious murder could be so served with injustice. So, this is for Colton Bushi. Even the ones who were never sure about anything, even the ones who were super quiet, even the consultants, even the academics, even the ones with six-figure salaries, even the poorest ones, even the single mothers, especially the single mothers, even the ones who normally don't like to get involved, even the ones who thought they had turned their backs, even the guys who say insulting things and the women in their lives are never sure if they should turn their backs, even the ones who were stolen from their mothers, especially the ones who were stolen from their mothers. Even the lawyers, even the doctors, even the government workers, even the ones who agreed that it's just a costume. Even the ones who say it's just a sports team. Even the ones who insist everyone should just calm down. Even the ones who prefer to look on the bright side. Even the ones who always see the downside. Even the ones who know they will lose friends, lose family. Even the ones who have lost family, especially the ones who have lost family. even the dancers, even the poets, even the politicians, even the ones who live far up north, even the ones who say, nobody owes you anything, even the ones who were traveling when they found out, even the ones who were on stage, even the ones on their honeymoon, even the ones with the flu, even the ones with mostly white friends, even the ones with no children, even the ones who are very young, even his sisters in Standing Rock, even a DJ from Greenland, even Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter, even the ones who send money to TV preachers, even the ones who are just clinging to their own lives, especially the ones who are just clinging to their own lives. Even the ones who couldn't bring themselves to say anything about Barbara or Cindy or Loretta or Tina or Savannah or Anna Mae or Annie or Lucy or Mary Babetzi. Even the radio personalities, even the reporters, even the ones who think that nobody listens. Even the ones who are just trying to be regular Canadians, even the museum curators, even the hunters, even the single mothers, again, especially the single mothers, even the singers, even the seamstresses, even the recently retired and tired of it all ones, even the ones who only recently found their connection, even the ones whose only connection to any of this is their partner, or their child, or neighbor, or co-worker, or simple recognition of common humanity. Even the ones who can only shake their heads. Even the ones who can only wring their hands. Even the ones who just can't. All of them. All of them. Everyone drew back their heads, wide-eyed, in pain and in fear and in dismay and in anger, but not in disbelief. Because what is known does not require believing or not believing. Let's see if I can get this done before the music starts. So this last one. And it's called Colonization is a Pyramid Scheme.
Colonization.
And I'm sorry if I stop making weird sounds because I've something in my mouth. It's candy. Colonization is a pyramid scheme. I tell you this, and you laugh. But I haven't made it up. It's all there in the handbook. If you don't have your copy, any current version will do. These days, you can find it online. You could also look in your old school books, but beware, the wording has changed, so you might not recognize it at first glance. I can tell you the basics. Once you see the outline, you'll know the scheme is deadly simple. No wonder it's so popular. We could maybe package it and sell it in 3 easy installments of $29.99, but the market's already been flooded, and the model is more about taking than anything else, really. The basics. First, you show up looking sickly. Say you need some help. Look, I've got this kitten in my car. Could you give me directions? Could you spare some water? some food, perhaps your children. Next, you plant your flag. This could be in the dead of night, in a forest, on a rocky mound, in quicksand by the shore, wherever. It doesn't need to be a flag. It could be a stick with a tattered cloth affixed. You could also just take a picture and draw some lines on it. Any and all will do. Next, you give them pestilence. Drink, sugar and rotted teeth, wheat and needles and 25 pounds of colored glass. Next, you tell them they owe you. Pay up or leave. Next, you burn their houses down. Stop me if I missed anything. You take away their tongues, tear up their spiritual beliefs, dismantle their families, foment division, nurture every fear and doubt, outlaw the way their bodies move to the music which you have also forbidden. You put them on ships, in social services offices, in zoos, in prisons, in holding centers, in museum storage, in residential schools, in hospital wards, in catalogs of children up for grabs. Next, you populate the land with sheep, or cattle, or dams, or bulldozers, or oil rigs, or bottomless pits. You tell them they should be so lucky, picking seaweed for gunpowder. Here, you'll put the gun in their hand. Off to war, boys. We have our reasons you don't need to understand. Next, you build up houses in your own homeland or on stolen homelands with noble cornerstones and lofty names. These houses and all the treasures in them, bought with the blood of enslaved and indigenous peoples from plundered nations, but you'll never say so. Or even if you do, that's all bygones. You've devised a new system, one that's good for everyone. They should be so lucky. Next you'll say they're lazy. They should be trying harder. Look at you and how you're doing. Why don't they just get off their asses? Next you say, you'll help them. Throw them a line with some hooks in it. If you wear this tie, you can have the keys to the safe. Tell your brother he can come too, but don't forget. No dancing, no singing, no none of that. Next you'll say they're one of you. The ones that made it this far. Not top of the pyramid, but close. Close enough to get the gold watch. Close enough to lead the pep rally. Close enough that you can see yourself in their movements. And now your job is done.
And it may still be young for some of you if you decide to hang out. But I'm very grateful to Lauren, to Dor, to Pat, to Dominic, to everybody here at the First Wednesday series. If it's your first time coming along to the White House, please make sure you come along again and check out the First Wednesday series. It's been going for quite a while, and fair play to us, and I hope to be back. Maybe we can make this an annual thing. Very grateful. Those of you that are here for First Fortnight, there's 47 events across the island of Ireland. I don't know what's on tomorrow. Okay, well actually I do. That's a lie. The stall is on tomorrow if you want to see more of us what we're doing. But there's probably things in other parts of the island. So check out firstfortnight.ie for more events as part of the festival. And as I mentioned at the start as well, Mining Creative Minds is a sister project. If you're in need of therapy yourself, there's 10 free therapy sessions that lead through Mining Creative Minds, and they have mentorships also. And First Fortnight, as I mentioned, has services they offer all year round to people that are homeless or at risk of being homeless. service, and then they just do this cool festival, because the first 2 weeks of the year tend to be difficult for people. You've maybe broken New Year's resolutions, had arguments over Christmas, drank too much. I put on like 3 or 4 kilos over Christmas. I don't know how. But actually, I do know how. Those Tesco, they have these like white chocolate almonds with a bit of they're fucking delicious. And I think of being healthy because it's like, oh, it's almonds, there's protein. No, they're 1,000 calories a packet. And I'm just like, oh. Anyway, sorry, why did you do that? But thank you for being here. I'm very, very grateful to you all. I'm really looking forward to coming back to Limerick and looking forward to completing the tour. It's been really worthwhile having the guys travelling across the ocean, and thank you very much again to Emma and to Lauren, our local artists here, who are great human beings, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from them in the future. And please, as I say, keep on coming back here. If anybody's out there tonight thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to share a poem in public for the first time, as you can see, this is a really gorgeous, supportive space, and I would encourage you to do that. You never know where it will take you. I'm very fortunate that it took me all around the world this year, and as a result of those weird things that happened for me, because of 20 years ago, well, I'm 43, I wrote my first poem when I was 21. The journey poetry has taken me on has been remarkable. It's given me a sense of purpose and community. It's given me a way of expressing myself. I would like, the reason I got involved in First Fortnight, I wouldn't be here. I probably would have. I've had suicidal thoughts in the past, and it's through art and poetry that I've been able to get out of that dark space. And the idea of First Fortnight is to reduce the mental health stigma through the arts. And I think that's what we need when we look at the world right now and how fucked up it is. We need communities like this. We need people creating, sharing, empathetic crowds, gorgeous human beings that are in here tonight. So I'm very, very grateful to you all. And so a round of applause to yourselves and for all the art that you have here.
We are back here the first Wednesday next month. Kaya McCarthy, I think, is down there in the back. Kaya, the art teacher here tonight. Kaya is a phenomenal up-and-coming poet who is much, much younger than most of us here, but is amazing, and we can't wait to see her. So please do consider coming back if you enjoyed tonight. To everybody, whether it's your first time here or your 100th time here, we're so delighted to see you. You're very welcome. And just to finish, we have a tradition in White House where usually if someone performs, they obviously get a round of applause. If it's their first time performing, they get a bonus round of applause. And I believe Melissa, Shirley, maybe even Emma, and Charlie, am I pronouncing that right? And Stephen, it is your first time in the White House, so can we please give a huge round of applause? Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a great night.